Hello, everybody. I hope you have been having a wonderful new year. It's been a couple of months since I've been on my channel, and I wanted to go ahead and work on a scrapbooking workshop today to take you through the Stampin' Up, the new scrapbook from Stampin' Up workshops. So the one I wanted to work on today with you was Everyday You and Me. And I was going to go ahead and walk you through part of it, like what comes in the kit. And then I have done some pre-cutting in advance so that you don't have to watch me cut the whole workshop. And then we'll put together layout 1 today. And then I will post layout 2 and layout 3 after that. So I'm going to go ahead and put you in the cradle. I'm going to flip this around. And please don't look too much into my craft space. Let me go ahead and get you situated. I'm gonna have to work on the rotation of this video. When I went live, it didn't let me switch the orientation. I don't particularly care to do them this direction, but I'm gonna have to play with that in my work and my setup here in my office. Okay, so today we're going to work on the Everyday You and Me scrapbooking workshop, and I am just going to make sure that I am streaming here on the live channel. I got an indication that I went live, but I don't see it. So I will go back and answer any questions that you might have. I'm gonna just restart that. So I'm gonna be working, like I said, on the Everyday You and Me scrapbook workshop. And when you receive a workshop from Stampin' Up, it will have a set of instructions and directions, cutting guide, everything to make the layouts. 6 pages total, 3 2-page layouts. So it will take you through the cutting guide for each set of patterned papers and cardstock pages that are listed in for each kit. It also comes with, usually there's a technique or something that is highlighted. This one will be adding color with blending brushes, but it also will come with some type of additional die cuts or, you know, embellishments for your pages. So these have a really nice kind of thick, pretty, what would I call that? Chipboard, thin chipboard die cuts, but they're pretty sturdy. They're sturdier than the paper ones. So we have a sheet of those. And then, of course, we have our patterned papers, which, like I said, I have cut most of them. I'm going to cut this sheet today so that you can just see that at least. It comes with page photo placeholders. It comes with a sticker sheet. And it also comes with some paper die cuts. And the cool thing is, if you look on the back here, it actually tells you which project number they go to, so that it's really directive so that you can see what's going on. Okay. What's going on? I just have to make sure that I have muted my volume on my computer. Okay, just want to make sure that I'm in frame. Okay. So what I have here is I have pre-cut some of my pieces already for my layouts, and I have them kind of stacked in layout 1, 2, and 3, but I will kind of get into that after I finish cutting this first piece of paper for you. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna grab my paper trimmer. Now the one that you're seeing here is my Close to My Heart paper trimmer, but it is the same as the Stampin' Up paper trimmer. And what I like about this is that it has the deep grooves here at the top and bottom, so that I can actually house both my cutting blade and my scoring blade. I'm able to score the whole sheet of paper. I know in the past you've had to I've had to take them out, set them aside, then you lose usually I lose my scoring blade because that would be the one that I typically would take out. So going to go ahead and I'm going to grab my cutting guide again, and I'm going to cut this first piece right here on page 2 of the cutting guide, which if you see in the orientation, this is the front, this is the back. The other nice thing it does is, so if you're brand new to scrapbooking and you don't know where to start, it's actually even helps you with your cutting. It'll give you this little key up here that this is where you make your first cut on each one of the pieces of paper so that you get the most out of each sheet that you are working with. So this first cut says I'm supposed to do an 8 by 12. So I already know that my page is 8 inches long, and I'm going to go ahead and open up my cutting ruler, and I'm going to find the 8 inches over here on the edge, and I'm going to close the trimmer, and I'm going to make a slice and that is my first piece. It also tells me what layout it goes to. So this is in particular is piece 1A. So I would be able to put this in my stack of papers for project 1. And that leaves me with this smaller piece. So I can go ahead probably and, oh, there's another 8-inch cut. So I will go ahead and leave that out for the moment. The next piece we're going to cut also goes to page 1. It's 1B and it is 4 by 8 inches. Now, because I already made a 8-inch cut, I already know that this is 4 inches, but if I needed to check it out, I could align it here. And from this line to the cutting line is 4 inches. So I will go ahead and put this in at 8 to get the second cut. This piece is 1B, and this is that piece that we just cut. So I will put it in the stack for layout number 1. Which leaves me with this 4 by 4 piece. And it looks like I'm going to need to trim a bunch of 2 by 1 inch pieces. And it looks like, what's funny about this one is these are all on page 1. So I'm really just cutting all the pieces for page 1. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put that on my 2-inch line here, because they are going to be 1 inch by 2 inches. So that gives me 2 inches, and then I just need to make a bunch of 1-inch cuts. Now for me, when I'm doing 1 inches, I don't know if you can see it here, but on this edge, there is like 1 inch and about 1.5 inches of measurements. And for me, it's easier to measure on this line. So from this line to the cutting, what should I call that? That cut line in there. It's like a trench, but that's not the word. So I'm going to use the 1 inches. It's not a gully. Maybe it's a gully. I'm not sure. I don't know what to call it. It'll come to me after we finish the video. I have a set of 4 right there, 1 inch by 2 inch pieces. And I'm going to do the same for this last piece. Okay. Alrighty then. Okay, so there we have all my pieces for layout number 1. I'm going to go ahead and set this aside because I did already pre-cut my other pages. I will tell you that there is quite a bit of paper left over. These were my scraps. And so you see here, there's quite a good amount of scraps. So you could make some cards with these scraps. Or, I think there's actually enough here to do a second group of layouts. And so I might, you know, just by adding a couple of 12 by 12 sheets of base cardstock, I feel like I could probably make another set of pages. So I might do that at the end. And we'll just see what we can come up with on the fly. Okay, so I have my stack for page 1. Just setting my other pieces aside here, like my, I did not punch out my die cuts yet, so I might just go ahead and do that. But I was going to pull out page 1, my stack for page 1, so that we can go ahead and get that going. There's that I popped out there. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to find all of my pieces in this punch out sheet for project number 1. So that's project 1, that's 2, 2, 2, this is 1. And I'm going to be carefully punching these out. This is project 3, project 2, 2, 3, 2. This one is project number 1. Project 3, project 3, project 3, project 1. Okay. And I'm going to set that aside, but not too far, just in case I missed one, but I think I have them. Okay, so I'm going to open this up to the actual guide for the left page, project number 1, which is this All of Us Together. And it tells me here that I can, if I want to, this is optional, can add color to the die cut pieces with the pecan pie ink and a blending brush. And then it gives me information about how to do that with rubbing the blending brush on the ink pad and then apply the ink to the die cut using a gentle circular motion, start light and keep adding color as desired. So I think that they did those here on these die cut pieces, the leaves. So I'm going to start the assembly process, and I might do a little bit that inking later on. I don't think I have my inks up here with me because I was, instead of planning, I was just like, we need to get up and we need to get running here because it's been a hot minute since I was on the, it's been a hot minute since I was here. So we are going to start assembly, and we want to use the light side of the Pretty Peacock for the base of our pages, our base pages, excuse me. Okay, so this is the Pretty Peacock, and this is our new two-toned 12 by 12 cardstock, and I'm going to flip one over here so you can see that there is a light side and then there is a dark side. And the directions that we have here say to use the light side. Now, you are perfectly welcome to use whichever side appeals to you. Lots of times I like using the true color side, which is usually the darker of the two. But for today's purposes, I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to use what they have suggested. And I'm going to go ahead and set this other piece aside for my second page. But I'm going to go ahead also, and I'm going to use my Stampin' Up mat. This glass mat has a really nice 13-inch platform here, so that when I'm laying these out, when I've got this on my 12 inches, I can kind of measure where I want my pieces to go. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get that set out. Now, the next thing it tells me to do is to grab my pieces, 1A and 1B. And I'm one of those people that I don't put a tick mark on the back with all of the, with my numbers, because sometimes when I'm building the page, I like to flip the two-sided designer series paper upside down or backwards. So I don't want to have to erase numbers off of those. So that's why I usually just go with the pile method. And so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to grab my pieces. So this was 1B, I believe, and then 1A. I think I stuffed down here where I was actually piling all my stuff on the wrong layout. I was putting it on number 3 because for some reason I stacked mine backwards. So just need to grab some project 1 pieces. I think this was a project 1 piece, but I need to find my other piece. And this is why you don't do everything backwards. It never fails. I always set 1 piece aside in the wrong pile, which is why I typically also use file folders to house my pieces and keep them together, because I somehow just lost piece number 2. Come on, I know you're here. Sometimes they're inside. We're gonna play some. You ever do that? You just kind of start laying things down and then all of a sudden it's gone and never to be seen again. I feel like maybe I threw it on the floor when I was flipping my stuff around, but I'm just going to keep going because it will reveal itself to me. I know that it is this on one side, so it's just another piece of this, really. 1A, actually, oh, so silly. 1A was the first piece that we cut, and it is the full plaid sheet. See, this is why I should pay more attention when I'm cutting things. And this is actually why sometimes it takes me a little longer, because had I actually put the number on the back, we wouldn't have been sitting there trying to look for it forever. But this is basically what we are going to be looking at. We're going to center that in the middle of this plaid. And I'm just kind of laying out the pieces so that I can see what we have going on. And it looks like this is what we got. Okay. Now there's going to be some stickers, there's going to be some other items, but this is the base page, and I'm pretty okay with knowing that that is where we're going with the first page. So I'm going to go ahead and start gluing these main pieces down. One of the other things that I like to use just when I'm going and don't have my photos ready yet, like I haven't decided what photos that I'm going to print and put on these, I still go ahead and I attach just the place photo here. The other thing that this does for me is if I decide that I need a little bit more pop for my photo, I can actually cut the photo like 1/8 of an inch smaller than 3x4, and I can have a double matte look where I will have, like, I could cut it a little bit smaller and then you'd have something like this. So you'd have a double matte, you'd have the dark, and then you'd have the white, and then you actually have your photo. So that is something that I like to do just for myself. I'm also using the Stamp and Seal from Stampin' Up right now. Adhesive. getting used to that. It holds really well. I do have to be careful when I use this because I get a little crazy, and sometimes on the cardstock, I won't have the right angle, and I've like basically shredded the piece of paper, and the glue just pulls the back side of the paper off. So I feel like it's a little bit tricky, but once I get used to it, I kind of like this. I don't know if you remember Hermafix, but it's similar. It has the little hash marks. So it's not the tab, but if you remember the one, and not the like the dotto, but it has like the sliced little quarter tabs, I guess. Maybe that's what I would call them. Oop. So there we go. And I have my write and rub, my write and erase up here somewhere too, but I'm just gonna pay attention to what side of the paper you put your glue on because that is not what I wanted to happen. So I want to go ahead and put a little glue on here. And I'm going to find the center, which is 6, so it would be between the 4 and the 8, which is at the bottom of my page, the 4 and the 8. Go ahead and put that down. And then I'm going to put my photo mats about 1.5 inches down from the top. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but my cat is meowing in the background. It's downstairs, probably getting into trouble. So we're gonna go about here for my photo mats. So I don't know how many of you have tried our scrapbooking kits. They're great for beginners because all the instruction is there. However, they are also great for seasoned scrapbookers, and you can start with them as your base and just really kind of take off and do your own thing with them. They're reminiscent to the Close to My Heart packs that we used to have, which I loved. So, you know, that's another thing that I like about that. They really did take some of the things that we had before the company closed, and they are working with some of our former employees, and I love what we're coming up with for some of our designs here. Rumor has it that there will also be an album retreat, kind of like we used to do, which will be fun. Okay. And this one, we're using this sticker off the bottom of the sticker sheet. This big long sticker that was here at the bottom. And we're going to place it across, maybe at about, maybe I'll put it at about the 2, be at the bottom of the 2 inch, between the 1 1/4, 2 inch mark. And then this, all of us together, goes in the middle. And if you like, you can use some 3D tape. We have the Stampin' Dimensionals. I'm using a bit of the lined ones that came with one of my paper pumpkins, because they have this long, you know, it has this, these are 3 pieces, but it has the lengths. So I can put just a few of them in here to hold it. Just to give it a little bit of dimension. I think it could be cute too if I would have stamped on this background. I did get myself the stamp set that goes with this, just because I thought it was really cute. have that in there. Now, if you're of the mind where you feel like you need way more 3D tape, go for it. I kind of tend to use mine a little more sparingly depending on what it is. So I've got that on here, and I'm going to find my little strips of paper that I pre-cut. Actually, they are not. They are these little sticker flags. So I was looking for this little section here, and it are these little flags or pennants that are in the center of our sticker sheet. So I'm going to pull those off, and I'm going to tuck them underneath the center of this banner like that and that, and just stick those down. Too cute. And this will go over here. And we have a couple more items that will go on here. So that was one of the Project One pieces that we pulled off of the die cut sheet. And then there is another sticker that is right here that goes right in here. And it looks like there are also some other there are some die cuts, and then there are some more leaves, a couple more stickers, these little pieces that look like washi. Those are up here. I'm going to grab those off of my sticker sheet. So these are going to go up here. I think that's fun. Just looks like a little bit of washi tape. I'm going to go ahead and put some glue, a couple spots on this leaf. I left this open so that I can tuck my photo underneath that. Go ahead, and I think that actually there's a couple more pieces in here. I think there are some, maybe one of these, which I believe they used the toffee and, or sorry, toffee. Nope, wrong company. They they used some of the pecan pie ink and changed the color a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to 3D foam tape this circle that's going on top. Oh, that's silly. Can't use my fingers. You know, some days you don't have any. I'm not ambidextrous today. Okay, I'm going to put a little bit of glue on the back of this, and I'm going to tuck it in here just to hold that down. And they did use one of these little flowers. I might go back and hit that with a little bit of ink. What color do I have here? Not the one I want. So I might hit one of those with some ink. But they have one. Looks like they've layered. So if you layer these, they colored one and they left one blank. But it looks like there are some thicker ones, and then there are some thinner ones. And I'm trying to see if they lay over each other, but yeah, I think they do. And then you can get those two tones. So if I color the one, so I might add these in a little bit after the fact so that I can color those with some ink. Okay, so really this is the base of page 1. They did put a couple of other little stickers in here like happiness and pure sweetness, but since I don't know what photos are going on here yet. I might wait to put those because there's a couple other ones. There are like Nothing But Smiles, Together We Have It All, Best of Times, Things to Remember. So there are other words that might fit my photos on this layout a little bit better, so I'm going to wait on that. But while we're doing that, I'm going to set this one aside, and I'm going to grab page 2, which also uses the back or the light side of Peacock, Pretty Peacock, and this larger piece of gingham. So since this one's pretty self-explanatory, I am just going to go ahead and start by tacking this down a little bit with some glue and centering it. So tell me, how many of you are scrapbookers and how many are card makers? And if you've never scrapbooked before and you're thinking that you might want to try it, or maybe you want to make something for like a gift or something, because these can be great for just a small book, a couple of kits, and you can make a small starter album for someone. It'd be fun. Okay, so these I pre-cut already, and this is going to be interesting because this is where I'm going to show you where the scrapbooking part of scrapbooking comes from, right? So I'm going to lay these out like they have on the sample, and let me show you the sample. So here's the sample of the right page. And do you see all these little, this actually makes it look like there's a couple strips of the yellow paper running through there, but what we've done, those little 1" by 2" strips, that are these. They are just tucked. And we're just gonna line those up between the frames to make it look like we have a strip of paper running behind our photos. Now, one of the things that I really like about having a checkered piece of paper is that we can use that to our advantage here, and I can just select a line. And while I have that going on here, I can just choose a line, start my visual banner. Use this for, I'm just going to slide it underneath. And I think they're wide enough that we actually, you know, the overlap will be fine. You've got a little bit of give for the overlap. So we're using this visual line. See if I put that there. Go here. And then I'll line this one up. Aha. Okay. And then I can actually use these again to figure out where the midpoint is on the layout. If I use it up here a little bit, we can find kind of where the middle of the middle is. I think that looks pretty good. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to, let's see, sorry, I'm going to move that over just a bit. It's all about using your grid to your advantage. I'll just put this down. So I don't know about you, but I love to travel. And I recently came home from a trip with my sister, and we went to Iceland for like right after Thanksgiving and into the first part of December. And it was really cool. And I would go back, but I would probably go back maybe in the spring so I could see what it looks like, you know, not when it's frigid. It really was a cool trip though. We had a great time. It was very interesting. Okay. So these show that there are photos in, I think, the ones that have the darker color frame. Okay. Now, I flipped mine over because this is a little bit OCD, but I don't like it when my letters are going the wrong direction. So just to save myself a little bit of heartache, of course it doesn't matter because you're going to put a photo over the top, but I have a little bit of OCD when I when I see that. So I'm flipping mine over so I don't have to see it. I think the old ones that I used to use, they were printed both directions so that you didn't have to worry about that. And I would find that when I put one on and it was the wrong way, that I tore it off and had to fix it. So I'm not great with OCD in that respect. So we'll just save myself some heartache. And now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to figure out, based on this side, where I want my visual banner. Or strip, sorry. So I think here looks, I don't want to shuffle it a little this way. This one, I might do it from this side. Okay, I think we'll do it that way. So we are planning, my sister already has one planned, a trip to Costa Rica. And I'm trying to determine where I want my tour group to go, and we will be hosting tour groups to different places and opening it up to anybody, scrapbooker or non, who likes to travel but doesn't necessarily want to do all the planning. And so if you're one of those people who would be interested, also drop a line and I can give you some information. Or say, you know, hey, where would people like to travel to? I have quite an extensive list of places that I would like to go. France, Italy. I've been to Italy once, but I didn't get to see a lot of it because we left on a tour, a cruise out of Venice. And so there are some places I would like to go back to, and I'm trying to determine kind of where I want to set those up. One might be like Ireland, and Dublin and Edinburgh. So those will be coming. And if you're interested in finding out more about those trips, and we wouldn't be scrapbooking necessarily on those, but we might be offering like, for people who do like to scrapbook, maybe some kits afterward, some titles of the places that we went, things to that nature. So if you have any ideas, drop them in the comments. I will follow up. Okay, so we're getting there on this piece. Okay. Again, I just used the edge of this stripe over here to line these up. I used my squares. That's what I love about those. So, so now it just, of course, tells you to use the embellishments like they have here in the example. So we have, I think, a couple of stickers. We have like, did I miss one? I think I'm looking at that like it was, oh, they wrote in that. Okay, so it's just this journal circle. I'm sitting there thinking, I don't see one that has words in it, but that's okay. They made their own words, which is fine. So I'm going to go ahead and put that circle there, and then I'm going to add nothing but smiles across the top here. And then we have this little circle from the punch out sheet, Project 1 punch out sheet. Go ahead and I'm going to put that here in the center. I had the best of times. I know I said earlier that I didn't know what I was putting on these pages, and so I was probably not going to add those, but sometimes it's just easier to go ahead and put down the suggestion. And as these are kind of generic, you could probably go with any photos. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and put that down, and then this was a special day. Every day's a special day, and together we have it all. Put this over here, put this over here. It's a little sticker from the sticker sheet. It goes about here. And then we have another sticker here. I think it's this guy, but he has a two-toned leaf. So I might have to come back and do that with the shading when we do layout number 2. And I'm gonna go ahead and call that good. So this is just a basic page. Pretty much exactly how they suggested it. We've got page 1. And then we have page 2. All right, so things that we did not do on this layout was shading. The other thing that I haven't done yet is find out what kind of bling that I want to put on my page. And I will do that for page 2. So when we do page 2, which I think I'll put the video up later this week, we'll go ahead and add the extra embellishments that have been blended and shaded, so we can show you that process. But I think it's pretty cute for us for like a level 1 basic scrapbook layout. And you've got places for a minimum of 6 3x4 photos. And using our flip flaps that I will also show on the next video, you can actually increase, you can up to triple the amount of photos that you have per page. So that is, whoops, I'm gonna take this down, layout number 1. I'm gonna flip you around again, don't get dizzy, so I can see you. So we will go ahead and I will put up video number 2 sometime in this next week. So thank you for joining me. If you learned something new, or you want to see more of these videos, hit the like button and subscribe. And I will keep these videos coming, and we'll work with some of the new products from Stampin' Up. If you have any questions, hit me below, and we will talk to you soon. Thanks for stopping by, and no matter what else happens, stay crafty.